Hello, this is Second Story Garage. I'm Quentin Young, and we're here with Taarka today. How
Hi.
you doing? Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. So Taarka is a well-known Lions band from right here up the road in Lyons. And I want to ask you, first off, you do a song for us called Waterford Town, and I was picking out some of the lyrics in there, and it sounds like there's an interesting story there. Can you tell me about Waterford Town?
Waterford is a little town where I grew up. And
where's that?
In Virginia.
Uh-huh.
And
it's cruel?
Well, it was a beautiful childhood. I loved growing up in Waterford. There was a great community of people there. Everybody knew everybody. There was a lot of people my age, a little older, and a lot of people who played music. And we got into trouble, snuck out to the little dam, like half a mile, quarter mile outside of town, where we'd light off fireworks and smoke weed and do things that we didn't want our parents to do. And then it was a great town. The community was very tight, and nobody locked their doors. Everybody, you could just walk over to somebody's house. They didn't knock. You answer the door. You walk in, and say, "Hey," it was a real close community, and it was a lot of fun. And by the time I was in my mid-teens, Time magazine voted it as one of the 10 best places in the country to grow up. And I was like, of course, I knew that.
There's another side of the story, though. It sounds like
obviously, yeah. But after I got to my 20s and moved away, most of the kids had grown up, and either the families moved away. Definitely, the kids moved away. Either the families moved away, or the generations that were already there with kids just grew older while the kids grew away. So it became sort of more of a bedroom community to people who worked in Washington, D.C., and people moved out and phased in, phased out, and there weren't so many kids there anymore, and people didn't know each other anymore, and it just became another little town. Not like Lyons. Actually, we moved to Lyons because part of one reason why I like Lyons lies, it reminds me a little bit of the town I grew up in. But we went back there after the flood. We lost our house in Lyons to the flood, and sort of been bouncing around from place to place. And lately, we've been staying with some great friends who have a nice place for us to stay in the meantime. But we went back to visit my family in Waterford and stayed there for 2 months and wrote a bunch of songs and re-experienced Waterford again. And that's what popped out. It's not at all what it was when I was growing up. It's just a shell of a town to me. So, but it also has all those features that were there, all these buildings from the 1700s, and the Waterford Dam where we'd sneak out to and so forth.
So I love the story of you and Enion. You met, I guess, early in your young adult life, and were buskers in the subway system of New York, right? You lived in Brooklyn for a while, and made your way out here to Lyons. And you are such an integral part, it seems, of the Lyons community. I mean, there's such a strong music community in Lyons, and you just seem to know everybody there, and we were just talking about like members of the Rail Splitters and Elephant Revival. And,
well, a lot of the reason why one or the other of us are there is because the one or the other of us are there. We like living near each other. And we actually, when we escaped from New York, we left New York shortly after the Twin Towers were hit, and we ran out to Portland, Oregon, and stayed there for 5 years. So, and then came out to Colorado. But we really considered moving to Colorado first, and ended up in Portland for a while, and then decided, let's go to Colorado.
And so you just recently were touring that part of the country. Tell us about where you were and what you did out on the West Coast.
We were in California. We started in San Francisco and did a fun show there with Nat Keefe from Hot Buttered Rum. And then kind of circled around California for about a week, and that was interesting, actually, just sort of to tie in what David was talking about with spending time where he grew up. I grew up in California, and this particular tour, maybe partially because it was the first time we'd been out there since the flood, but I had reconnected with people I hadn't seen in 26 years. There were, various amounts of time, but all a really long time. And we saw and we stayed with some of those people. So it was sort of my chance to reconnect with
It's been
that part of my life.
Reconnective year for us.
Well, as David mentioned, Enion and David lost their home in Lyons to the flood in September, and so that's. But you're back in Lyons. You're living with a friend, and do you plan on coming back to Lyons permanently?
I
think so.
We're hoping to. We've been trying to collect money and save money, and hoping for some money from the potential buyout they might do. It'll still be a year from now. And if we do that, we'll try to buy another piece of property.
It's going to be tricky there because I think a lot of people, even people that didn't want to live there before,
everyone
people
wants
are
to live
moving
there.
in.
Lyons is sought after.
It's that kind
left.
of place. We ask all our artists to bring something for the garage, and Taarka brought us something.
Yes.
A mask. What can you tell us about this?
Well, see, that was given to me probably 9 or 10 years ago at a Taarka show in Eugene. We began as a band with a somewhat different sound and arrangement of people.
West Coast.
On the West Coast, and we had a lot of people from interesting cross sections of life come to our shows. We still do, of course, but there was this fellow who came up to me after the show. Well, David was packing up, and he had some sort of European accent, maybe Spanish, from Spain, and he handed me this mask, and he said, "I am a mask maker, and I made this for you, and I would love for you to wear it, and would you like to come to a hot tub party at my house afterwards?" And David and I talked to her, and something didn't quite feel right, but I had this beautiful mask.
You got the mask.
that he had made, and I've worn it on occasions, and now it's been traveling with us for a long time, and it started to become uncomfortable to wear. So I thought it would be the perfect sort of piece of Taarka history to bring to the Second Story Garage.
Yeah, this is great. Made out of leather. Very cool. Yeah. There you go. Well, thank you so much for the gift, and thanks for coming in. We
Thanks
enjoyed
for
the music.
having us.
Yes, absolutely. This is Second Story Garage.